Welcome back. It is now time for details on a mission to save a historic site here in Jacksonville. So we'd like to welcome the owner of the Oneida Bungalow Court, Spencer Fletcher, and former President Carolyn Hill. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so for those who maybe have not heard of this, tell us what it is and how you knew it was still around.
The Oneida Bungalow Court is a 24-house bungalow court. It's a small community in the center of what was formerly called West Louisville, which is one of the oldest African-American neighborhoods in the city of Jacksonville. It's right outside of the urban core. It straddles Riverside and Brooklyn, and it's just an amazing community that thrived for 150 years. Now is facing a lot of blight and demolition. Most of it's been razed, but it is a little piece, a little vestige of history that still exists that probably shouldn't. So.
Right. Well, and Carolyn, not only were you the president, you grew up there.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Born and raised there.
Wow.
Wonderful place, lovely, family related, and I just enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to save it.
Yeah. So tell us about the significance of it then and why it should be saved.
It's one of only 2 bungalow courts left in the city from this era. It's the last concentration of housing left in one of the oldest African-American neighborhoods in the city, this West Louisville. Everything else has been pretty much demolished. Interstate came in the late 50s, mid to late 50s, and took about 1/3 of the original land, and there was a mass exodus at that point. But it's incredible to think that a neighborhood of thousands of these small bungalow and shotgun houses that thrived for 150 years was a freedman's village is pretty much non-existent. It's gone.
Wow. And you brought some pieces here, so tell us the significance of what you've brought. And this actually was something that you used, right, Carolyn?
Yes, yes. We heated our homes by kerosene, and that's one of the cans that we used to go and purchase the kerosene in to use for heating.
Amazing. And then what is this here?
That's a rent roll book. It was an older book by the I. Beverly Knoll Company, and her name and her mother's name are actually in there.
Wow.
I think it may be from the early 70s, and the rents were about $40 to $50.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy?
And when she was a
Things
child,
have changed.
Oh yeah, $12 I think she mentioned the rent was when she was a child.
Wow. And then what's in your hand there?
This is a photograph. It was taken in the late 40s, copy of it. And it sort of shows the neighborhood. Riverside is right here.
Okay.
This is Louisville. This is Brooklyn, West Louisville. The neighborhood was a thriving neighborhood. It was set up right post in the Civil War for emancipated slaves. There's an enormity of history, of cultural and historic value to the neighborhood. But when the interstate came in, they ran it along the red line of the district. And unfortunately, it decimated the neighborhood here. And in addition to that, the city had a trash incinerator. It's right here on Forest Park. They polluted the entire neighborhood for close to half a century, sort of knowing that it was an issue. And it wasn't until recently, until the 2000s, that Operation Newground came in and abated some of it. There's still ongoing some areas here, but that was sort of the nail in the coffin, and a lot of people left the neighborhood after that. And it's a shell of its former self, and it's sad to see because a lot of these residents that you talk to and interact with, I mean, this was a very loving place. Nobody locked their door.
That's what she was saying. Yeah, she enjoyed growing up there.
Growing up, yes.
And then seeing it now, it's probably a little sad, huh?
Yes, yes.
So if folks, are you asking maybe for folks to kind of join in on the fight to save, or give them a website if they want to, I guess, learn more?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a Facebook page. It's the Oneida Bungalow Court. They can Google it and find it very easily. I think the biggest help right now is to call the city councilman, call the mayor's office, and ask what they're doing to assist in city infrastructure projects in this neighborhood. One of the things that's been plaguing us is that, you know, you would think that sidewalks and curbing and adequate stormwater drainage, some really basic city amenities that they've never had in this neighborhood would be an absolute shoe-in but it's not. It's not. So, so something that we need help with, the city could help with enormously, hasn't been happening.
Okay. So go out and get that more information, and then maybe help do your part too to help. So thank you both so much for joining us and also giving us a little history lesson.
Absolutely.
You know, I think this is fabulous what you're trying to do, and thank you so much for sharing a little bit of your story as well.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, and we'll be right back.